Hey, what's up guys, Max here, and Killer Instinct's been out for about a month now, and it's had a lot of time to grow in the community, and I'm actually really happy with how the game has grown. There's been a lot of stuff with matchups that I was kind of worried about, and it's all kind of evened itself out, and the game's actually turning out to be really freaking interesting with just the 6 characters that are in it right now. But let's talk about one of the other bigger issues of the game, and that's what's coming up with the latest content patch, and the stuff that I would personally like to see fixed with Killer Instinct in its current state. One of the biggest priorities in my opinion is something general that has kind of been bugged throughout the entire game ever since it came out, and it's the difficulty and the ability to unlock the alternate skins or character colors. Each character gets up to 6 different colors that you can't unlock. However, the bigger issue is that there's a couple of parameters that are pretty difficult to acquire, one being 150 fight titles and the other being 50 ranked wins online. And right now, even if you get 50 ranked wins, some accounts do not actually get the ability to unlock that color. It also costs KP as well, so it's a pretty big freaking asking price. But even so, it's still bugged. That's something I definitely want to see change, because I've almost got 50 ranked wins on every single character in the game right now, and I still can't get them. So I do want to see a big change there. I also think that the requirement to get that is pretty steep. There are a lot of people that will never ever see 50 wins, 50 ranked wins with every character or a very specific character, and I'd like that changed. Not everyone is a fighting game pro, and that stuff is kind of steep in my opinion, so I'd say cutting that in half to 25 might be pretty good, and getting 150 fight titles, dude, that takes a long time to get for any specific character as well. I've only actually unlocked it for one, and that was Saberwolf. And I had to play a lot of freaking games to get it. I would almost love to see that one cut in half myself, for myself as well, to make it easier on everyone. There's also been some pretty big issues that have run into tournament situations. When you actually have Xbox Ones that are on for a long time, it seems that the Xbox One has somewhat of a heating issue, and it actually affects the performance of Killer Instinct every once in a while. This is kind of the same effect that Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and the Street Fighter games had playing on PlayStation 3s, especially in tournament. If the systems overheat, they cause frame issues, and this has actually happened on a multitude of occasions when we've actually gone to tournament during the weeklies, where it's like, what the hell is going on with this system? And we end up trying to play on a different system. It happens, and I would like to see, hopefully, something done maybe on the Xbox One's console end, but the other big one that I personally would love to see a change for is the overall matchmaking system in Killer Instinct and the ranking. I do think that the ranked search options definitely would benefit from you choosing between, searching between rank any, rank same, or rank greater. I would love to see that. I think that's something that is definitely needed as far as matchmaking you with people that you would actually like to be matchmade with, because it is rough. And especially in its current state, it is very difficult to get higher in rank in Killer Instinct, and that's the next change I would love to see, is actually rewarding people for playing the game online. I have kind of a big issue with people playing a game and not getting rewarded for continually playing, because right now in Killer Instinct, you can get to a certain rank, and if you play any one of lower ranks, you don't get anything at all, and it's almost a worthless battle. But if you lose a crap ton, an absolute truckload of all the time you just put in, and it's extremely difficult right now to get into higher ranks. Anybody that's above a rank 13 is pretty rare, and those guys that are even above that, it's very hard to do, so you kind of have to grind it out like crazy, and you have to play people of higher rank. But since you can't find those people, it gets pretty freaking difficult to actually make progress. So, hopefully we'll see some progress in that department as well. I would also love to see something done about rage quitters. Sadly, rage quitting is still predominant in something like Killer Instinct. I don't personally run into it that much in later ranks, because a lot of people in later ranks actually put the time in to be good at the game. So you don't see it too much, but a lot of people that are early on in the ranks get it happening to them all the time. And my personal opinion on rage quitting is the fact that I think people that have connections or shoddy connections or get disconnected every once in a while need to take ownership of the fact that their internet is bad and fix it, because that ruins the online experience for everybody. And I know it's hard to identify whether somebody rage quit or it was unintentional or whatever, but I still think you should suffer a loss in that case, and I think that the person needs to own up and do something about it. You're not going to lose like 1 billion points or anything, but you should lose something. You should lose a little bit of your progress just to motivate you that, yeah, I need to get this fixed, this is a problem, and it'll also take care of rage quitters. in the process. And last but not least comes with something that I was expecting with a lot of players of the game getting their hands on it, and especially with a game that only had about a year's life cycle, people are already discovering combos that are actually unbreakable, and you can't do anything about its guaranteed damage. And that kind of breaks the mantra of Killer Instinct that everything should be breakable to an extent. And as of right now, there are some characters that can take advantage of very short, quick damaging, like 20 to 30% damage combos, and some extremely high, up to 60% at the cost of a lot of your resources. I won't go into detail, but a lot of you guys know about the Sadira stuff. However, a lot of these things has already been addressed, and we can actually look forward to some things already being acknowledged that is going to be patched within the first big title update of Killer Instinct. And the first specific one was that mention from Filthy Rich over at Double Helix, that there's general fixes coming, the ranking system is going to get an overhaul, and I've actually heard in conversation from the guys that were actually working on the ranking system, that that stuff is actually going to reward people no matter what for every fight. Now that every fight that you play will actually give you something, that's good. I'd like to see what other changes are going to come in store. The Killer Instinct store is also going to get some updates as far as unlocks and more, so I'm thinking potentially the Killer Instinct store not unlocking things once you get 50 ranked wins, you know, and stuff like that is actually already going to get fixed, but we'll see what actually does happen when this patch launches, and as soon as it does, I'll have a detailed list for you guys to check out. But these are the things I would personally like seeing change to KI. The overall experience is really good. There's some small things here and there that kind of like, you know, are iffy between some of the issues online where a game will desync every like 1 out of 100 games. And I've seen it happen a couple of times now, and it totally is a thing, and it's very obvious that it is happening, but luckily I've heard that that stuff is totally being addressed in the new patch update that's coming as well. So like I said, dude, stay tuned. As soon as it's officially out, I'll have a full detailed list on what exactly has been updated as far as the game and the overall general fixes for KI. What would you like to see change for Killer Instinct right now, since we've got about a month to play with the game? My name is Maximilian, and stay tuned guys, there'll be more coming very soon.